This is Jason Hairston.
And this is Ron Broussard. We're with another Relationship Rewind.
Yes, this is the first episode. We're glad that you're tuning in and checking us out. We appreciate the support and the love. We're going to give it back to you right here and right now.
Definitely. And we didn't get as many questions as we thought we would get. So, guys, look, do not be scared.
Yeah, don't be scared.
Turn in the questions.
Yeah.
Ladies, if you want to know any of the answers or some advice, I don't think we know all the answers or anything like that. We just can give some advice. So please send in all your questions. You can send them in, and we'll have our email addresses at the end of this episode. And
Indeed.
We'll get started today.
Yes. Let's do it.
I know I was talking to some of my clients today, or a couple of weeks ago, about when we started doing our little premiere launch and stuff, and one of the questions that they was asking about was, why can they not find a good man? That was the major question. So I'm going to throw that out there on the table. We'll put it out here for them to discuss it.
Right there.
Yeah, discuss it and see.
Yeah, well, I think personally, one of the reasons that it's hard for a woman to find a good man is because I think that to find a good man and to attract a good man in your life, it's all about you being confident in your own skin. Because that's what attracts me. I'm a good man. So if you're confident about who you are and you have self-love and you're free and you're not afraid to be who you are, that's attractive to me. Because that's beyond just physical beauty. You know what I mean? So of course it has to be a physical attraction, but for me, I like a woman who's really in tune with who she is and she lives in her truth and she recognizes who she is and she's not afraid to express that. And that's what a good man is looking for, that authenticity within a woman.
You made a good point, Jason. You was talking about a woman just recognizing her own inner spirit and her own strength that she has as a woman. And I say that that's a major point because I teach with my clients and my friends, I teach them that they do attract what they reflect.
Right.
So if they are, finding those ain't nothing, guys, then probably their reflection is that they don't have that self-confidence within themselves. More importantly, they're not stretching themselves outside of that circle that they're probably currently in, hanging out with the same friends, sitting in them same circles and not stretching themselves beyond that so that they can find or attract a good person. But it all does start from them within, having that confidence and that assurance within themselves about who they are as a person.
Right, because if you're having trouble finding a good man, more than likely that means that you need to step outside your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is your friend zone and the activities that you're involved with now. Try something different. Instead of going to the same club and going to the same church and whatever activities you're doing, try a different church. Try, going to different events. Expand your horizons. Because when you expand your horizons, you expand the chances that you have in finding a different type of man.
Definitely. And I'm going to talk more about just going within. And what I mean by going within is finding out what resonates with you, what you like in a relationship as a person, what value that you can bring into a relationship as a person.
Right.
When you understand that and you understand that value that you can bring into a relationship as a person and you study and understand yourself, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Again, Jason, I think it's very important for them to have to be truthful and honest with themselves and not point the fingers outward saying that they cannot find a good man because of this guy, he was wrong, and that guy was wrong with doing this. And, I always teach in everything that I practice is that everything has a side. Meaning, if he was wrong doing something, maybe something that you had did provoked something that caused that result. And then, again, in any relationships go bad because we don't try to make them right. And what I mean is we get to that bumper and that rubber meets the road, meaning like when you get married and you pass the honeymoon. So you say you're past that honeymoon phase in a relationship and then you find out about different faults that guy has, or that guy finds out that you have different faults as well. Instead of working with it to complement each other, you work against each other to pull each other apart, and that's not what it's about whenever you're in a relationship.
Right, definitely. Excuse me. And I also think that if you're looking to be in a relationship, you feel like you need a man in your life to make you feel better. I mean, that's when you lost already, because relationships are not meant to make you feel better. It's just an addition to the happiness you should already have, or the self-love you should already have. So if you're looking for a partner as an external source to make you happy, that means that you need to really do some more internal work, and find that happiness within. Because if you can't be happy by yourself, more than likely you can't be happy in a relationship.
True.
So,
Then that's a very good point. If you're not happy with yourself, no amount of money can make you happy. Mm-hmm. No amount of guy. Matter of fact, if you did find that perfect guy and he was in your life, you would self-sabotage that relationship that you've had because you didn't work on yourself first. And when you work on yourself first and find out those faults that you have within yourself and how you can strengthen those faults and learn about those weaknesses you have, because you probably already know your strengths. You probably already know every strength that you have that makes you feel confident. But there are those weak areas too that we always want to tend to ignore and just say, hey, we're just going to focus on the good side of these things. Focus on those bad sides so that you can, first of all, recognize them, and then you can strengthen them slowly. It does take time. And then when you do that, you'll be able to show a more complete you. And in essence, it's going to bring that guy or attract that guy that you want to have in your relationship or in your life.
Right, definitely. And I also think that when it comes to dealing with relationships and things of that nature, what I find with a lot of my clients is they don't feel like they're worthy of having a partner. You know, they feel like, well, I had a lot of sexual partners, so maybe I don't deserve to be loved, or a good relationship, or whatever the issue is. Everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody is worthy of love. But you have to believe that you are. If you don't believe that you are, you're going to keep on attracting people to reflect, you know, the how you feel about yourself, which is that you don't feel worthy of love, and people will treat you like you are not worthy of love. You know, disrespect you and what have you. So it's all about going inside. That's what everything is about when it comes to being at peace and feeling fulfilled. It's about going within. So we need to stop pointing the fingers at everybody else and start pointing the fingers back at ourselves and analyzing what's going on with our way of thinking, our mind frame. What are we thinking about? You know, we need to pay attention to our mental patterns and break the chain of those patterns that have been running for years and years and years.
And understand, he just made a good point again. Your thoughts create things. So if you're thinking that you cannot have a man, right or wrong, you're right. Whatever you're thinking about.
Definitely.
If you're thinking that you're not worthy to have that guy in your life, if you're thinking that you're not as confident as you are to be able to find that person in your life, if you're not even confident enough to get out and say, hey, look, you know, I'm hanging around these same females or these same guys that's on that pity island. You know, I always tell you about that pitiful island. I don't like to take no vacation on that island.
Nobody likes a pity party.
That why me island? Why is this happening to me? And then everybody has a pity party, and they all have that same type of song. You have to understand that energy that you're putting into those things is being amplified, and it's just being manifested in a larger form. So understand that your thoughts create things. If you think that you can have a good man, then you can have a good man. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's that belief. If you don't believe it here in your heart, again, that's going inside and finding that confidence that you have within yourself with you just being just who you are. If you didn't have to hang out with nobody, if you didn't have nobody to kick it with, and you was just there in your house or in your apartment, how would you have fun? Would you go out and have fun? Would you go out and enjoy yourself? I know me, for one thing, I have fun everywhere I go because I'm enjoying me. It's not about everybody out there, and it's not about the perceptions of what they perceive about me. It's about me having fun.
Learn how to go to the movies by yourself and have dinner by yourself and take yourself out for a date. You know what I mean? Learn how to do those things. Because I see a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they feel like to be able to engage in activities, they have to be with their friends. No, you don't. Learn to be by yourself. Learn to enjoy and explore by yourself. You know, and ironically, that's where you end up finding special people, when you go out and explore by yourself, when you're not trying to look for that special person. But I just want to say this too, to end off finding a better man. If you want to find a better man, you got to become a better you. Simple and plain.
Yes. Very simple and plain.
You know, so that's real simple. So
look inside and become a better you.
Become a better you, get a better man.
And you'll get a better man.
And that's vice versa for the dudes too, for the men. If you want a better woman, become a better man.
And you know who you are.
Yes.
Definitely.
You know, because speaking of becoming a better man, I just want to say this. It never stops. I'm always trying to improve myself. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. Ron's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So I always try to improve myself. And in doing so, and I've noticed in my life, the more that I've improved and done the inner work, the better friends I attract in my life, the better people. I have beautiful people in my life. Why? Because I feel that I'm worthy of having love, to be surrounded by love. I feel I'm worthy of, you know, having the support that I need. I feel I'm worthy of it. So therefore, I attract what I feel I'm worthy of. And I don't take myself as seriously as I used to. And I think that's a lot of problems that my clients have, and, you know, that I used to have. It's like, laugh at yourself. When you make a mistake, it's okay. You know, if you slip off and do something, you know, nobody's perfect. Make fun of it. Learn to have fun and not to take yourself so seriously. Stop being so hard on yourself, you know?
We are our worst critics.
Yeah,
we are our worst critics on anything. Yeah. If we're in a relationship, if something goes wrong, you know, we was talking about that today when we was working on the computer.
We had a crazy day.
We had a crazy day. Computers was going crazy, and
and
I came in here and I told Jason, I said, look, I'm already on one. I was already salty. I'm like, my computer don't even act right. I'm like, I got this mic, it done cost me mad money and it's not even acting right. So instead, we laughed it off, we made fun of it, and then we're just going to address the issue like it is and go back into it. The same thing that applies in your relationship and you dealing. Again, like Jason said, once you find out that you're worthy about those things that you want to have in your life, you're gonna surround yourself around wonderful people that are loving, caring, the same way like you are, that have those same attributes. Right. But guess what? If you're hanging around those guys that's having those pity parties and they're on that Waimea Island where, you know, that's that resort no one wants to go to, then guess what? You're going to have that same situation. You're going to go out with those same people and you're going to end up same
Groundhog Day.
Same way. Over and over. Alone, at home, wondering, why can't I find a good man? More importantly, it may not be your time yet. You may be going through some experiences now, and you may not be focused on getting a man in your life. You just want to have a temporary now man. And there's nothing wrong with having a temporary now man. There's nothing wrong with having that guy, because guess what? Every experience that you have is preparing you for that next person, that next man or that next woman that you're having in your life.
And that's what I want to say too. You know, I always tell people that when you break up with somebody, it's okay. That leaves room for somebody better to arrive in your life. You know, we attach to these people that we have relationships with, and we think, well, we're never going to find nobody like her. She was one. She was an angel.
She was a keeper.
I mean, it's 7 billion people on Earth? I think your ratio of finding somebody else to fall in love with is a pretty good ratio. So keep that in mind. I think we forget that. I think we get so attached and locked and tunnel vision on one person that we don't see all these other beautiful people around us. So stay open and keep your focus open, and don't just get attached to one thing, one person. You know, leave yourself open, and if they fade away, let them fade away.
And one race. One thing my mom taught me before, and I'll tell you this, and I'll share it with you. My mom told me, which was very important, and she said, love has no color. Now, when you understand that, and you're looking for love, you're looking for those attributes that you want to be reflected. Those are those attributes that you already have that you want to manifest in another relationship or another person that's going to come into your life. So, first of all, one of the things that I always teach my friends is think of those things that you want to have. I want to have a man that's trustworthy. I want to have a man that's loyal. I want to have a man that's caring. Be specific about those things that you want to have in a relationship. And then look within yourself and see if you have those things within yourself. Because if you don't have those attributes there, guess what? Some of them are going to show up, but the other ones, those faults that you have, are not going to show up. So find out those things. Guess what? When you find those, if you find those things, everything else is good. You're going to find that beautiful man, that handsome man, or that beautiful, fine woman. That's going to come. That's a given.
Because you can't get what you can't give. You only get what you can give. So, you know, if it's something that you want, give it. You know, if you want a good man or you want a good woman in your life, be a good man and be a good woman. Simple and plain. So it's all about doing the work. It's constant work. Life is all about learning and doing the constant work. And that's what we're doing with Relationship Rewind series. We're trying to help you and give you the tools so you can continue to do the work like we continue to do the work.
True.
Because we use the same tools.
Yes. We're not one of those guys that sit there and came up on hard times and we find some get rich quick type scheme and we're trying to do this.
It's not about
we
that.
practice what we preach.
Definitely.
I practice what I preach at home. I am always constantly trying to find that wow experience. And I always say the wow experience because understand when you're in a relationship and you've dealt with different relationships, and I can honestly say that I had a lot of relationships when I was growing before I had met my wife, and it's easy to please a lot of women. Guys, it's easy to please a lot of women. Women, it's easy to please a lot of guys. But when you have to focus and have that one person that you have to please and keep happy on a constant basis, you got to keep your A game up. That's the ultimate player, is to have that woman or that man in your life, that one person, and you're constantly trying to give them that wow experience. So what kind of keys can we give them from this? One step from this way for them to go forward and them finding a good man or a good woman. What's one good thing we can give them?
Well, first of all, the first thing is being honest with yourself. Okay, you have to be honest. So if there are things about you, because a lot of times, I find that people don't want to face the ugly side of themselves. They only want to face the good side of themselves. But you have to face the ugly side. You have to look it dead in the eye and deal with it and change it. Be active. Take the action to actually do something about it. You know what I mean? So I think honesty is the key. You got to be honest with yourself. Don't be in denial about how you're feeling. If you feel like, if you don't have self-confidence, be honest with yourself and just say, okay, I'm not confident. What can I do to be more confident about myself? I need to deal with this issue. And if you need to be more confident about yourself, you need to show yourself more love and realize that, because a lot of times when people don't have confidence, because I want to go back to being too hard on yourself, or you're comparing yourself to what other people are doing. But no, a lot of times we compare ourselves to what other people are doing. What the other person is doing is just something that we're not good at. Everybody's a genius at something, so focus on what you're good at. And when you find what you're good at and you work on that and you get better at that, your confidence will start to rise because, I'm good at this. You start feeling good about yourself. But only when you find out who you are and what makes you tick, not what makes the next man tick or the next woman ticks that you're trying to compare yourself to. Stop the comparisons.
And then more importantly, anybody's relationship, if you're looking at anyone's relationship outside of a relationship that you're currently having or that you're looking at, and you're saying, man, this person has a great relationship. You're seeing the outside of that relationship. You're not seeing the inner workings of that relationship. Mm-hmm. They could be going through the same things that you're going through. They could be going through the same things that you don't even know that they're experiencing. So just find out what resonates with you, what you enjoy liking. And again, I'm going to have to agree with Jason. Your first step is to go back and see what your faults are within yourself. Strengthen those faults that you have. One of the faults that I have, I always like bringing myself up. I procrastinate too much. So one of the things that I've learned about me is once I've set my mind to do it, stay on it, be consistent until I get it done.
Right.
And so, my mind will go against me, be like, man, we can do this tomorrow. We can do this, whatever. Don't listen to that. Stay straightforward on what you need to do. The same thing you need to do with those weaknesses. It's going to be something that your mind is going to tell you, no, we don't need to work on that. We're good the way we are. I cook good. I clean good. That's good. That's one attribute. Cooking and cleaning and all that stuff is just you being a part of you. Look at those other things that you're not doing. The trustworthiness, the communication, the other things that you're looking at in a relationship and see where those weak links were. Another important point, which will validate what we're telling you to do, go back and look at those past relationships. I can almost assure you, if you walk through it with me and Jason and I, because that's what we do when we sit down with you as a client, if you walk through it, there's probably one attribute that sticks out in every one of those relationships that you bubbled on every time. One thing. Definitely. Every time.
Definitely.
And it may be something different for another person, but it may be one thing. And if you go back and look at each one of those relationships, no matter how bad they were, look at them, you can see that fault in there.
Definitely. And I want to say, I'm going to share one of my faults. One of my faults, sometimes I could be stubborn. You know, my girlfriend tell me something and I have to be real stubborn. No, I don't care. And then I sit for a while and I think about it, but I always go back and be like, okay, I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. You know, but at least I take the time to analyze what's going on. That's the thing. Sometimes if we're stubborn or we get mad, we just get mad and don't take the time to go back and reflect. You know, so sometimes we just have to admit when we're wrong and admit when our flaws are coming up to the surface and be like, okay, that's my flaw. And you know what though? The more that you deal with the flaw, the lesser, you know, the flaw has an effect on you.
And the stronger you become.
The stronger you become. So it's about just doing the work. And I'm continuing to do the work. And let's all continue to do the work. All right?
And then understand that just because you say you're sorry, it does not mean that you're less of a man or less of a woman. Matter of fact, you're more of a man and more of a woman when you come correct and you realize those faults that you have within yourself. When you understand that, you're the bigger person. So accept the fact that if you do make a mistake, the mistake is not something that's going to be big enough to where it just outweighs the whole problem or the whole relationship. It's just that problem. Or it's just that issue that you had that you're saying, hey, look, I'm sorry. You know, maybe I didn't communicate properly. Maybe I didn't do this or I didn't say some things. You're just realizing that the problem is so small that in the relationship is valued more, if you understand what I'm saying.
Definitely. So I think we made some good points, man. I think that we're going to wrap it up for this episode for Relationship Rewind. Thanks for tuning in once again. But please send us some questions. You know, we're waiting for your questions. Send them in.
Yeah, send in the questions.
Email is going to be at the end of the clip. So we look forward to answering any questions that you bring forth. And we really look forward to enjoying this web series and sharing our energy once again. So thanks for tuning in to Relationship Rewind.
Send in the questions. Your names will be anonymous. We're just going to use the questions and we're just going to discuss them. We're just going to discuss them. So thank you guys and we look forward to connecting with you soon.
All right. Peace.
More.